Yeah, it's time to start saying no to some things. Are you ready? Today I'm going to be sharing 3 things that I'm saying no more to cut back on my overwhelm in 2024 as a mom and small business owner. Sometimes to achieve more of what you want in life, you actually need less. People tend to focus on building better habits, good habits in, but we don't always stop to think about the things that we currently have in our life that are holding us back. I deal with this kind of stuff all the time with clients in limiting beliefs and assumptions, but right now I want to talk about some patterns of my own behavior that I've been indulging in that are holding me back from the person I want to become. Oh, and heads up, you'll definitely want to stick around from number 3 because I promise if you're a mom, you're doing this one too. All right, so confession time. The first thing I'm giving up is being an angry mom. Yeah, I'm guilty of it too. I'm gonna need you guys to raise your hand right now in solidarity if you've ever yelled at your kids. A little bit higher if you swore up and down while you were growing up that you would never yell at your kids the way that your parents yelled at you. Young dreams, right? I really thought that I had completely conquered my anger. If you don't know my whole story and background, I was in a rather toxic, abusive first marriage and had to deal with a lot of fighting over those 6 years. And I really thought I had come out of that with like this amazing ability to just have patience and control those flashes of anger. Then I had a toddler. And wow, that is another world. That is another level of patience that I personally have just never reached. If I blow up one time at my kids, I get so frustrated at myself, not at them. They're kids. I recognize that in retrospect when I'm sitting there calmly thinking through it. But in the moment, I am so mad at myself. I feel so frustrated that I am not showing up for them as the mom that I want to be, as the person that they deserve me to be for them. This same shame spiral may resonate with you. For me, when I stop and analyze my own actions, I know that a lot of times this anger is creeping up when I feel overwhelmed. Overwhelm manifests in a lot of different ways for all of us, but 2 of the ways that it manifests most for me is irritability and quick mood changes. That means that I basically go from swimming along, kind of annoyed at the kiddos, to angry. And right now, they forgive me immediately, but I know that as they become teenagers, that might not always be the case. So I really need to get myself under control. It's less about them and their actions and what they're doing, and so much more about me and how I'm handling it. Bottom line, cutting out the overwhelm that I feel around parenting will definitely help me better serve my kids and show up for them the way that I want to show up for them. Not because they are frustrated right now with the kind of mom that I am, but because I'm frustrated at the kind of mom that I'm showing up as on those bad days. But the idea is really to attack the problem by its roots and focus on those moments that I feel overwhelmed and have a plan of attack for those instead of letting myself boil over. There's a quote by Nadia Bolz-Weber that sums this up perfectly. The things that have transformed me have never come as a result of me trying harder. Simply telling myself to stop yelling at my kids hasn't worked. So I need to come up with a plan. If this sounds like something you need in your life too, go ahead, drop a comment down below right now. I'm halfway on my way to my plan. I've been implementing it now for a month or 2. There are some tweaks and adjustments, and what works for me won't necessarily work for you, but I'm happy to share my process and my thoughts and my tips. All right, so the second thing I'm giving up this year is overextending myself. Imagine that, a packed calendar leads to feeling overwhelmed. We all wear a lot of hats, right? I am a wife, a mother, a coach, a YouTuber, a daughter, a friend. The list goes on. And as much as I love all of these roles, there's no denying that it's a bit of a juggling act. And I'm not so good at juggling. And I know that you're probably struggling with this too, because I hear from clients all the time that this is one of their biggest pain points. Balance, at least on a daily basis, is an illusion. There's simply too many things that we're trying to shove in. I know people say you can't have it all. I'm not saying that. but you certainly can't have it all at once. Some days you may spend more time catching up with friends and being social, and some days you may spend more time cleaning up the house. On those days where you've been social and you come home and the house is a mess, you don't also have to stop right then and clean it up. You can let yourself have a little space. As my kids started school this year, it was the first time in 5 years that I've been kid-free throughout the day. And at first, I was so excited to get back into coaching full time. But as I actually tried to adjust to that schedule and think it through, I realized, number one, that I didn't have time for a full-time job, and number two, that I didn't actually want one. I love having cozy afternoons at home, reading to my boys. I love baking with them. I like being able to take an unplanned nap on the couch. I like if my friends decide to meet up for lunch that I can just go with them and that I don't have such a crammed schedule that I can't fit people in. That might be the case sometimes as we commit to things and make those obligations, but it doesn't need to be the case all the time. So, and I know I talked about this before in the New Year's resolution video, but I made myself a master schedule. And in this master schedule, I did two things. The first was I planned for the unexpected. I specifically put in time each week for me to take an hour and a half to 2 hours and go to the marché and walk around and enjoy the beauty and the sights there, because it's one of the things that I love most in Paris. I left time in the week for me to meet up with friends and do fun things and have a good time. I also really counted and planned for all of my work hours. I found out that I just have 17 hours to work during the week around those social things that I want to do and my kids' school schedule. That means that with those 17 hours, I have to know what the plan is. So on top of each day, I actually planned a work task for each one. That means I always film my YouTube videos on Fridays. Hi. I always edit on Mondays, and I always post on Wednesdays. In between then, I'm working on any other editing needs I have, B-roll, different things. I'm working on scripting a video, I'm researching videos, I'm writing blogs, newsletters, I'm creating new freebies for you guys. I'm doing all those other things on those other days, and they're each assigned to a specific day and time in which I'm going to do them. This might sound like it's inflexible, but in reality, it helps me avoid decision fatigue, which therefore helps me avoid overwhelm of feeling like there's so much left for me to do every single day and I have to get it all done in one day. By eliminating what's not truly necessary and focusing on tasks that are aligned with my values and goals, I basically ensure that I have the time to rest and restore myself, because that's one of my priorities and goals as well. If you want to know more about creating a master schedule and also figuring out what your values are so that you have that to kind of guide you when you're making decisions, comment with that down below and I'll get started on another video about that. All right, number 3. I'm sure we've all been guilty of this at one point or another. I hope you're further along in healing yourself than I am on this journey, but if you're not, we can do it together. So number 3 is taking care of myself so I can take care of others. The final thing I'm going to try to eradicate this year is a biggie. It's the idea that moms need to take care of themselves so they can take care of others. It used to be that moms would just fully neglect themselves. Then we were like, no, that can't be healthy. Mama, you gotta take care of yourself so you can take better care of them. You can't give from an empty well. You gotta put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. But there's always that stipulation, right? The only reason you're taking care of yourself is so that you can pour it back out to someone else. The most important thing that I would like to impress upon you in the history of all the videos I've made is this. You matter too. Not for someone else, not for the role that you are in someone else's life, but you matter yourself as an individual, as a person, as someone who has hopes and dreams and desires. You matter. You are important. You are special. And you are worth it just for you. I personally am so sick of deluding myself and that my worth somehow is measured in what I have to offer others. We do this with our kids all the time, constantly evaluating and judging ourselves and berating ourselves for falling short of an impossibly high standard of what we think motherhood should look like. We do this also with our bodies. If we're not bikini ready, then we're hideous. We have to hide ourselves. We wear wraps at the pool. We don't go swimming with our kids. Even when we work out or eat healthy, it's so often to keep our partners romantically and sexually interested in us and appealing to someone else. It's not for our own health. It's not for our own well-being. And in fact, oftentimes these efforts lead to a sort of punishing ourselves. If you have a second piece of cake, you have to eat salads for a week. Oh, I'll have fries with that. I've been good lately. Food is not good or bad. Food is nourishment. But we have assigned it these properties of being good or bad, of judging ourselves in our interactions with food to fit someone else's ideal of what we should look like in our own bodies. We do this also in our relationships, being too timid and afraid to offend someone else. We people please ourselves into corners, leaving no room or thought for what we really want and how we really feel about things. And frankly, I'm over it. I'm no longer concerned if I'm doing enough for others. I know that I am. I know how much I love and care for those people in my life. I know how much they mean to me, and I want to serve them from a place of love and not from a place of guilt or obligation. I'm ready to start taking care of me, not for anyone else. I'm done berating myself for falling short of the ideal mother. I'm done trying to make sure that I look and feel a certain way. I am certainly done people pleasing. I want to love my kids and have that be enough. It's enough for them. Why can't it be enough for me? I want to feel strong and healthy in my body because I want a long, whole life with vitality and energy and the ability to go and do the things that I want to do. Not so that I can sexually attract a partner or be society's ideal of what a woman should look like, but so that I can feel strong and able to do the things that I want to do. I do want to help others. I do like being with others. I do like connecting with others. I don't want to do that anymore if it means sacrificing my own mental health and happiness. One of the ways that I'm tackling achieving this is fully in line with this video and saying no. So I've made for all of us a little one-pager that has 5 steps that will help you learn to say no and stick with it. As women, we have a tendency to people please, and there are historical reasons for why this happens. We don't need to get into that. What matters today is ending it. And we can do that. This worksheet will help you do it. Sometimes we're not able to say no simply because we don't know how. And this worksheet takes care of that. It gives you the script, it gives you the words, it gives you the power to say no and mean it. Links down below. I hope this video inspired you. I hope it invigorated you. And I hope that you feel ready to take on saying no to more things that don't bring you happiness. But most of all, what I want you to take from this video is that you matter for you. Not for what you have to offer anyone else, but just for you. I, for one, am very grateful to each and every one of you who show up, watch these videos, and get something from it. And I hope that you do feel empowered from watching. That is all I've got for you today. I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye.